Hello, friends. This is Reverend David Masland. I am the Director of New Faith Communities for the Upper New York Conference of the United Methodist Church. It is a joy for me to come to you today through a video feed and just bring you greetings of grace and peace to all of you, my friends from the Norwich United Methodist Church. I hope you're all healthy. And that you're experiencing God's grace and presence in the midst of this most unusual and challenging time. I don't think any of us could have ever imagined the changes that 2020 has brought to all of us. I'm recording this video today to share with you my joy and excitement to hear of your newly launched house church model of being the church in and around Norwich. I have now been in the role of Director of New Faith Communities in Upper New York Conference for more than 7 years. During this time, I have worked with more than 150 groups of people who felt called to plant new kinds of faith communities. Each one was designed to reach people that have never come to church or perhaps stopped coming to church many, many years ago. Each one of these new faith communities was an experiment, really. Some have flourished and have continued to reach many new people each month, many years after launching. Others have had short lifespans, and they didn't last very long. They weren't nearly as fruitful as we had hoped. But in my mind, none of these projects, these experiments have been failures because in each case, the planting teams have learned a lot about what God seems to be doing in the world among us and among God's people in the world. As I have walked with each of these groups, some patterns have emerged. And the three most prevalent patterns I want to share with you today. The first one is this: the people in our culture have not stopped being spiritual people. They're still interested in God. They have simply stopped trusting institutions in general and traditional churches in particular. There's lots of reasons for this. I won't go into them. But the point is, people haven't stopped seeking God. They've just stopped coming to church. The second thing that we've discovered, the second pattern, is that unchurched people are not attracted to buildings or programs. Maybe there was a time in the past where people in our culture were attracted to those things, but not anymore. Rather, in our culture now, people are attracted to other authentic people, real people. Kind, loving people that are working together with a team to make the community they live in a better place. And third, the pattern we've discovered is that unchurched people are much more likely to show up to try a new spiritual experience if the group is small and if it meets in a space that seems safe. So the key things are real, authentic, kind, loving people involved in projects and groups that are relatively small, are safe places for new people to come to in our culture. For these reasons and others, I have believed for many years that the future church must look different and that the shape of that future church is almost certainly smaller. The most promising strategy for churches to grow in our culture, I believe, is not megachurches, but instead small churches, a model that we call house church networks. Such a church is made up of many loosely connected small groups that meet in persons' homes primarily, but might also meet in other spaces like fire halls or restaurant, back rooms, or other places like that. These groups may gather together as a large group once a month or maybe once a quarter to do a mission project or have a large group worship experience. Or they might not. They might always just stay small. This is why I was so thrilled to have a conversation with your pastor, Rachel Barnhart, as she told me about the house church model that has been emerging among you during this time of COVID-19. This pandemic has forced the church to find new ways of gathering God's people. I love the approach your church is taking to create worship, prayer, and spiritual growth opportunities for people in small house churches. I believe it has a great future. And I'm praying for you as you seek to multiply the number of your small groups by welcoming new people from your community into these groups And as the groups grow in size, they can split and become other house churches that reach other people. You know, your experience of worship and fellowship in these house churches will be different from your normal large group gatherings in your sanctuary. They will be different. But not only will they be safer during the pandemic, you will almost surely find them even more meaningful, as your time together will be more engaging and more interactive for everyone involved. I'm thrilled that you're doing this. And I'm thrilled that your pastor, Rachel Barnhart, will be leading you, because she's got so much great ideas, creative ideas about how to engage people. Please know that I am praying for you as you begin this house church journey together. May God bring each of you lots of joy, meaning, strength through these groups. And may many new people come to know the grace and love of God because you are living this way together. God bless you.